The auction house. The sky above the alien market was dark and full of smoke. Strange lights flickered across tall, metal towers. The air smelled like oil, dust, and sadness. Captain Rylan walked slowly between the cages. He had seen many things in his life: wars, broken planets, hungry children. But this place felt worse. The alien slave market was full of pain. He heard cries, whispers, and silent stares. Different species were trapped in cages, weak and dirty. Some looked angry. Others looked empty inside. Rylan wasn't here to buy anyone. He just wanted a part for his old ship. Something small. Something simple. But still, he kept walking. His boots echoed on the steel floor. No one spoke to him. No one trusted humans in this part of the galaxy. He didn't care. Then he heard a voice. Soft. Tiny. Buy my mom. She'll feed me, I promise. He stopped. Turned his head. In a small corner cage, he saw a little girl. She wasn't human. She had soft blue skin, silver hair, and big green eyes that glowed a little in the dark. She was maybe 5 or 6 years old in human years. Her clothes were torn. Her feet were bare. Beside her was a woman, tall, silent, and strong-looking. Same blue skin, same glowing eyes. She held the girl's hand tightly, but said nothing. Her expression was calm, but her eyes were sharp, watchful. Please, the girl whispered again. Buy her. She cooks good food. I'll be good. I won't break things. Rylan's throat went dry. He stepped closer. The auction bot floated beside the cage. Scanned his ID. Interested in Unit 882 and 883? The bot asked in a robotic voice. High demand. Fresh stock. Rylan frowned. They're not tools. Don't talk like that. Do you want to buy or not? The bot said. 2 for auction. No refunds. No deals. Rylan looked at the girl again. She smiled at him, weak but hopeful. Her fingers gripped the cage bars. He asked, How much? The bot answered, You can afford one. Rylan opened his wallet. He had just enough credits to buy one of them. Not both. He looked at the mother. Can you speak? She didn't answer. The girl said softly, She doesn't talk much. She's tired. Please, don't leave us. Rylan felt a deep pain in his chest. He remembered another voice, his daughter's voice, from years ago, before the war, before she died. The sound of this little alien girl was too similar, too human. Let me buy both, he said to the bot. I'll pay full price. No deals, the bot repeated. One only. Then I walk, Rylan said. He turned to leave. He took 3 steps. The girl sobbed behind him. Please, don't leave us. He stopped. He clenched his fists, took a deep breath, turned back. Fine, he said. I'll use my emergency credits. Confirmed, the bot replied. 2 units sold. No refunds. The cage door opened with a soft click. The girl ran forward and hugged Rylan's leg tightly. Thank you, she whispered. The mother stepped out slowly. She nodded once. Still didn't speak. Rylan guided them out of the auction house. Other buyers stared at him like he was crazy. Some whispered, Why save them? They're not worth it. Stupid human. He ignored them all. Outside, the air was colder. His ship waited nearby. A small, beat-up freighter with scratches and old paint. The girl walked beside him, holding his hand. The mother followed behind, eyes watching everything. You got a name? He asked. The girl said, My name is Lura. He looked at the woman. And her. She's my mom, Lura said. She was a warrior. But now she's tired. Rylan nodded. All right, Lura. Let's get you both somewhere safe. As they walked into the ship, a strange sound echoed from far behind. A deep hum, almost like a whisper. Rylan looked back. No one was there. Lura shivered. She's not what she looks like, someone said behind him. A merchant with dark eyes. What do you mean? Rylan asked. The merchant just smiled and walked away. Rylan frowned. Then he closed the ship's hatch. Darkness. That was the first thing Lura felt when the ship's door closed behind them. But it wasn't scary, not like the cages. This darkness was quiet. Safe. Captain Ryland sat in the pilot's chair. The engines hummed low. The stars outside blinked like old memories. Lura looked around the small ship. Smelled like metal and old socks. She didn't care. She had never been in a spaceship before. Her mother stood still near the wall. Not touching anything. Not speaking. Watching. Ryland turned his chair slowly. "All right," he said. "Time to talk." Lura blinked. "About what?" He pointed at the mother. "She hasn't said a word. And you? How did you know I would buy you?" Lura looked down. Her fingers played with a broken string on her shirt. "She said you would come," she whispered. "Who?" "My mom. She told me, he'll come today. He'll choose us." So I waited. Ryland leaned forward. "Is she a mind reader?" "No." Lura smiled a little. "But she knows things. She always knows." Ryland looked at the mother again. Her eyes didn't blink, just stared straight into his. "Can she talk?" he asked. Lura hesitated. "She can. She just doesn't want to. Not yet." Flashback, just 1 hour ago. Back at the auction. Ryland stood in front of the cage. His hands clenched. His mind raced. One. He could only buy one. The little girl cried. The mother didn't beg. She didn't even move. She just stood tall, her hand on the girl's shoulder. The auction bot repeated, "Pick one. Time is limited." Ryland had made hard choices before. In war. In space. On dying colonies. He had watched people scream for help and turned away. But not this time. Not again. He threw down his emergency credit chip. Rare. Valuable. Almost priceless. People gasped. "Both," he said. "Or nothing." The bot beeped. Confirmed. Transfer complete. As the cage door opened, the girl smiled through her tears. "Thank you, sir. I knew you'd come." Back to the ship. Ryland handed Lura a food bar. She sniffed it. Bit slowly. Her mother didn't eat. "Why doesn't she eat?" he asked. "She doesn't trust food from strangers," Lura said. "I'm not a stranger. Not anymore." Lura tilted her head. "You still feel like one." That stung a little. Ryland stood and walked to the back of the ship. He needed air. Space. He stared at the stars through the window. Why did I do this? He thought. He wasn't a hero. He wasn't a good man. He drank too much, slept too little, carried too many ghosts. But that little girl, her voice broke something inside him. Suddenly, a voice behind him. "She is special." He turned fast. It was the mother. Her voice was deep, calm, and full of power. It was the first time she spoke. "What do you mean?" he asked. "She is not normal. Not like others," she said. Ryland looked at her. "What is she?" "She is hope." That didn't help. He stepped closer. "I need real answers. People stared at me like I bought a bomb. What's going on?" The mother looked at Lura, who was now asleep on the floor, curled up with a blanket. "She doesn't know what she is," she said. "That's good. If she learns too soon, they will find her." Ryland felt cold. "Who?" The mother's eyes turned sharp. "The ones who took our world. The ones who eat light. The ones who burn futures." Ryland sat down. His voice was soft. "She's a child. Why would they want her?" "Because she's not just a child," the mother whispered. "She's a key." Suddenly, a soft alarm beeped on the control panel. Incoming signal. Encrypted. Unknown origin. Ryland pressed a few buttons. The message opened. He froze. It was Lura's voice, but not from inside the ship. It was playing from outside. From space. "Buy my mom. She'll feed me, I promise." The voice repeated over and over, but now cold. Robotic. Wrong. He turned to the mother. She was already standing. "They found us," she said. "How?" Ryland asked. Her eyes burned. "Because they never stopped watching." The air inside the ship was too quiet. Ryland sat at the console, eyes locked on the screen. The signal kept playing. Lura's voice, soft and innocent, looping over and over through deep space radio. By my mom. She'll feed me, I promise. Again. And again. It wasn't coming from inside the ship. It was out there in space. Someone had copied her voice. Someone was sending it back to them. He muted the sound. Behind him, Lura sat cross-legged on the floor, staring at nothing. Her silver hair floated slightly in the recycled air. Her hands glowed faintly, though she didn't seem to notice. Her mother stood like a statue, always watching, always quiet. He couldn't take it anymore. Who sent that message? No one answered. He turned in his seat. Your voice is out there, Lura. How? Who has it? The little girl looked at him, blinking slowly, like waking from a long dream. I don't know, she whispered. But it's not them talking. The place. The dark place. Ryland's skin crawled. What do you mean? When they took us, Lura said. They put us in a room. Cold. No stars. I screamed. No one came. Her voice got smaller. They made us sleep. They said they were recording dreams. Her mother stepped forward now. Her voice was steel. She's not supposed to remember. She's a kid, Ryland said. You expect her to forget that? The mother's eyes narrowed. She has to forget, because if she remembers, they remember her. Lura's hands began to glow brighter. The ship lights flickered. Ryland stood, moving toward her carefully. Lura, it's okay. You're safe now. But Lura wasn't looking at him. She was staring past him, through the walls, into something only she could see. They're listening, she whispered. Right now. Then the lights cut out completely. Silence. Darkness. A single red emergency light blinked to life. Ryland grabbed his blaster from under the seat. Stay behind me, he said. But the mother didn't move. She placed her hand on the wall. It's not them, she said. Not yet. The emergency light blinked faster. A low hum vibrated through the floor. The console lit up again. Incoming signal. Untranslated. Source. Unknown. The screen filled with symbols. Alien letters that twisted and changed as he stared. His head hurt. His nose bled. He shut it off. I need answers. Now, Ryland growled. The mother didn't blink. She is not just a child. She is a bridge. To what? To something older than war. Older than your Earth. Something that wants to wake. I didn't sign up for this, Ryland said. She looked at him. You did. The moment you chose her. Lura stood now, her eyes glowing brighter than before. She wasn't scared. I think I broke something, she said calmly. What? Ryland asked. In space. A door. The stars outside flickered, just for a second. And something flickered back. Something watching. Something waiting. Ryland backed away from the window. The mother walked to her daughter and knelt down. You need to sleep, she said. I can't, Lura whispered. They'll find me in my dreams. Her mother took her hand, and the glow in her fingers faded. The ship's systems came back on. Lights returned. The hum calmed. Ryland exhaled just barely. We have to run, he said. No, the mother said. Running won't help. We need to hide where even they won't follow. And where is that? She turned her glowing eyes toward him. Earth. Ryland stared at her. You want to bring them to Earth? She shook her head. No. I want to bring her to a place where she can finally be a child. Lura smiled, just a little. Will there be food? She asked. Ryland couldn't help but laugh once. A dry, tired sound. I guess there will be, he said. But inside he knew. They were already too late. Something was coming. Something ancient. And it wanted her back. The stars were wrong. Ryland noticed it first when the ship's navigation screen refused to settle. Spun twice, then froze. Not on any known system. Not even a sector. Just static and numbers that didn't make sense. He tapped the console. Rebooted. Nothing changed. Outside the viewport, the stars blinked strangely. Like they weren't stars at all. But something pretending to be. Lura sat quietly, hugging her knees on the floor. She hadn't said a word since the last signal. Her mother stood near the door, eyes closed, hand resting against the metal wall. Listening. Always listening. Rylan didn't like silence. Not this kind. It was the kind that came before something bad. He walked over to Lura and knelt. "You okay, kid?" She looked up slowly. Her green eyes had changed. Still glowing, but now with something swirling inside. Something not human. Not even childlike. "They found us," she said softly. "No," Rylan replied. "I checked. No ships nearby." "They don't need ships," Lura whispered. "They follow thoughts." A chill slid down his spine. He turned to the mother. "She said they're already here." Her eyes opened, sharp and focused. "They are listening through her," she said. "They used her dreams. Now they use her doubt." "We need to block the signal," Rylan said. "Cut her off." The mother shook her head. "No, you don't understand. She's not a signal." "Then what is she?" "She's the receiver." Suddenly the lights dimmed. Then a whisper. Not a sound through speakers. Not from the ship. It was inside his ears. Inside his thoughts. One word. "Return." Rylan stumbled back. Lura stood up slowly, eyes glowing so bright they lit the room in green light. "They said they'll stop chasing. If you give me back." Rylan looked at her. "You're not going anywhere." "But you don't understand," she said. "They don't want to kill me. They want to use me." "For what?" "To open the rest." "The rest of what?" She pointed toward the ceiling. Not the ceiling, Rylan realized. The sky. Her mother moved now, fast. She grabbed a hidden switch on her suit and pressed it. The ship's walls flickered. A pulse went through the metal, shaking the entire frame. The stars outside shimmered and changed. One blinked out completely. "What did you do?" Rylan asked, grabbing the nearest support beam. "I activated her shield," the mother replied. "It only lasts 3 minutes. We need to jump." "Jump where?" he yelled. "Anywhere with real sky." Rylan dashed to the pilot seat. Entered random coordinates. Somewhere uninhabited. Quiet. Unknown. The engine groaned. "Come on," he muttered. "Come on." The whisper returned, louder this time. "She is ours." The ship shook. Then another voice. Smaller. Softer. "Lura." She placed her hand on the panel, and for 1 second, just one, the whole ship felt warm. Safe. The jump activated. Stars stretched. The darkness behind them screamed. And then silence. They were gone. For now. Rylan didn't speak. He just looked at Lura, who now stared at him like she wasn't quite sure who he was anymore. "Why did you save us?" she asked. He paused. "Because you asked." Lura blinked. "But most people don't listen." Rylan didn't answer. He just stared into the stars and wondered how far a man had to run to escape something that traveled through dreams, and how long he had left before even Earth stopped feeling safe. He hadn't seen her move. Not exactly. 1 second, the enemy ship fired a warning shot across their hull. The next, the girl was standing in the center of the cockpit, her hands glowing so bright they lit the control panels like twin suns. And then the ship responded. Not Rylan's ship. There's the enemy cruiser, 5 times larger, armed, alive with dark energy. Suddenly twisted in space like it had felt something touch its skin. Its lights blinked. The shields rippled like water. And then it stopped moving. Rylan stared at Lura. He didn't speak, because he didn't understand. She wasn't breathing hard. She wasn't scared. She was just awake, truly awake. "She's stabilizing," her mother said quietly, almost like she was proud. "What the hell just happened?" Rylan muttered, staring out the front glass. The enemy ship, once roaring like a god, now drifted like a ghost. "You said they were tracking us," Rylan continued. "You didn't say she could fight them." The mother looked at him, eyes like polished silver. "She's not fighting. She's remembering." Rylan didn't like the sound of that. He turned back to Lura. "What do you mean, remembering?" The girl blinked slowly, her glow fading now. "They made me forget," she whispered. "They buried pieces of me inside code. Inside dreams." "And now?" he asked. I think I broke one open. She sat down. Just like that. Like nothing happened. Outside the viewport, the enemy ship cracked. No explosions. No weapons. Just silence. Then the hull folded in on itself. Like a paper bird vanishing into the dark. Gone. Rylan turned to the mother. What was that? Her voice was calm. A warning. She gave them a chance to leave. He rubbed his face with both hands. I don't think I've slept in 2 days. I'm flying a dead freighter through a war zone. And now I'm babysitting a living weapon. She's not a weapon, the mother said sharply. She just unmade a battleship with her brain. She's a child, the mother replied. That's what matters. There was a pause. Then, not to them, Rylan said. To them, she's a key. No, the mother said. She's the lock. For a second, silence. Then alarms. Multiple signals incoming. Not ships. Transmissions. More voices. Not luras this time. Not commands. Please. Crying. Screaming. Begging in 100 alien languages. She's waking up others, the mother whispered. The ones who were like her. The ones they buried. Rylan slammed a fist on the console. You said we needed to hide. We did. This is not hiding. No, she agreed. This is what happens when a locked door remembers it was always open. Rylan looked at Lura again. She had fallen asleep, curled up beside the NAV panel, glowing faintly like a child made of starlight and memory. His voice was soft now. How long before they send something worse? The mother didn't answer. Instead, she reached into her coat and pulled out a small chip. Old, human-made. She handed it to him. He scanned it. Earth coordinates. Are you serious? He asked. She has to touch ground, the mother said, before the next memory breaks. Why Earth? Because it's the last place they still fear. He stared at the stars ahead. And for the first time, Rylan didn't feel like a pilot or a soldier. He felt like a father. And fathers don't run. They protect. No matter what's chasing them. The station didn't ask questions. It just opened its doors like an old friend pretending not to see the blood. The place was abandoned. Half-lit, half-broken, orbiting a dead moon no one remembered. No guards. No cameras. No systems alive enough to report what had just docked. Which was good. Because what had docked wasn't supposed to exist anymore. Rylan stepped off the ship with Lura in his arms. She was still asleep. Too deep. Too quiet. Her glow was gone now, like the light inside her had dimmed to save itself. Her mother followed close behind, her expression unreadable. Not calm, not afraid, just ready. Inside, the station groaned under its own age. Lights flickered in patterns that didn't make sense. Somewhere, a door opened and closed without anyone near it. They found an old crew room, metal beds, dust-covered monitors, food rations from another century. Rylan laid the girl down gently. She didn't stir. She hasn't moved in hours, he said. She's resting, her mother replied. Is that what you call it? The woman looked at him. You don't know what it takes to hold a memory that isn't yours, especially when it's older than your species. Rylan sat down on the edge of a crate, rubbed his face. She's just a kid, he said softly. A kid. Yes, the woman agreed. That's why it's dangerous. Children believe things faster than adults. And the universe responds to belief. He laughed, dry and tired. What, like magic? No, she said. Worse. Intention. They sat in silence for a while. The hum of the station was quiet enough to pretend the galaxy outside had stopped moving. Then Lura spoke. Eyes still closed. Voice small. He's scared. Rylan stood instantly. Who? Her eyelids fluttered. The one they made after me. Her mother stiffened. No, she whispered. He's awake, Lura said. And he's hungry. Who is he? Rylan asked. Lura slowly opened her eyes. They weren't green anymore. They were white. He's my brother, she said. Rylan took a step back. No one told me there was another. Because there wasn't, the mother said. Not until they made him from her leftover thoughts. They took her dreams, Lura said, and built a nightmare. Rylan looked out the window. The stars were flickering again. No blinking, like something big was moving in front of them, blocking them. He grabbed the old station comms. Static. No connection. Then a new voice cut in. Clear. Sharp. Young. You took what's mine. Lura shivered. He doesn't want me back, she said. What does he want? Rylan asked. She looked at him. He wants to be the only one. The mother reached for her weapon. A small device with no trigger, no barrel, just light. Rylan powered up the ship remotely. We need to run. No, the mother said. We need to stand. Stand with what? A broken freighter and a scared kid. You, she said. Rylan shook his head. I'm not a fighter anymore. You don't need to be, she said. You're a father now. He froze. Something about those words. He turned back to Lura. She was sitting up now, smiling, and glowing again. But this time it wasn't just light. It was fire. I don't want to run anymore, she said. Rylan's hand tightened into a fist. Then we don't. Outside, the void blinked again, and something with too many eyes began to reach for them. Earth was still a jump away, but maybe Rylan thought this was the moment humanity stopped running and started fighting for its family. He didn't expect Earth to feel so small. Not after everything. Not after the stars that screamed, the silence that chased them, the child who lit up a warship with her thoughts. But here it was, blue and green and innocent. Rylan stood at the edge of the landing ramp, boots in the red desert dust of a forgotten Earth outpost. No cities in sight, just wind, sky, peace, for now. Lura stepped down beside him, barefoot. The ground warmed under her feet. She smiled, and for a moment, she was just a girl again, hair tangled, eyes full of wonder. I like this place, she whispered. He didn't say anything. He was listening, because the wind wasn't just wind anymore. Behind him, the ship sealed. The mother stepped forward, silent as always. She hadn't drawn a weapon, but her whole body was ready, like a fuse just waiting for heat. Then came the sound. Not from the sky, not from the ground. It came from inside every bone in their bodies. A deep hum, a voice layered 1,000 times over itself. Young, old, angry. She doesn't belong here. Rylan turned slowly, looked to the horizon, and saw him. Not a ship, not a shape. A shadow walking toward them, no feet, no face, just presence. The air cracked behind it. The dirt curled in fear. Lura stepped forward. He doesn't remember being loved, she said. The mother reached for her, but Lura didn't stop. She kept walking. The sky darkened. The stars blinked. The birds, if there were any, had gone still. Rylan felt it all at once. The choice, the wait, the moment before everything changes. He ran, not away, toward her. He placed himself between Lura and the thing crawling through space and memory and blood. She stays with me, he said. You don't touch her. The voice hissed, almost amused. You are flesh. You are temporary. Rylan nodded. Yeah, but I'm human. And behind him, something else answered. Engines. Many. Loud. The sky split open with human warships. Earth's last fleet. Old. Ugly. Loud. Real. They weren't clean like alien ships. They didn't hum softly. They roared. And every single one had locked weapons. You wanted her alone, Rylan said. But she's not. Lura's voice joined his, quiet but clear. She's family. The shadow paused. And for the first time, it hesitated. Rylan smiled, tired and unafraid. That's the problem with picking on one little girl, he said. You forget what happens when humans find out. The fleet fired. Light, sound, heat. The shadow screamed, not from pain but from memory. From everything it had stolen, now fighting back. Lura stood in the center of it all, hands raised, not to destroy, but to close the door. The light swallowed everything. Then silence. When Rylan opened his eyes, Earth was bright again. The sky was blue. The ships hovered above, not firing anymore. Watching. Lura sat in the dust, smiling. Did I do it? She asked. Rylan knelt beside her. Yeah, you did it. She leaned her head against his shoulder. I'm hungry. He laughed. Really laughed this time. I told you, he said. She'd feed you. Behind them, the mother finally sat down. Tired. Smiling. Free. No more signals. No more stars screaming. Just Earth. And the feeling that, for once, the monsters stayed on the other side of the door.